again, everybody, it is Believing Bruce, the channel where we help you to get inside your own head so you can think, feel and act that little bit better. So what a week it has been. It started off with me doing a Prince Andrew video. Is he lying or is he not? Is he telling the truth or is he not? And it sort of gained a little bit of credibility and the views went up and up and up and up. And remember, I've only got 19,000 subscribers now. Thank you very much for the subscriptions. So to get 105,000 views, whatever it is, in 4 days, take a look at the link below if you'd like to see the video. But where some excitement came is I've had national media getting in contact with me. Believing Bruce, we love the video. Would you do a little bit more explanation around it? Would you be prepared to actually say he is lying here, here and here? That was a national newspaper. So I said to the national newspaper, whilst I'm really appreciative of you coming along to me, it would be, not in my best interest to spend Christmas in the Tower of London. But also, I was at St James's Park this week. So for anybody who follows football, you will know that that is the ground, the hallowed ground of Newcastle United. And what we were doing there is we were doing a male-only mental health awareness session for and in conjunction with International Men's Day. Speaking up, allowing people to come forward with their issues or giving them that little bit of confidence to stop internalising it if they want to speak up, give them that psychological safety to actually do that little bit of confidence to tell other people what's going on inside their head. And that was fantastic. I was on the local news. Look at the merch. Look at that merch. And I was supported by Metro Radio and also in the local papers. So that was great for getting mental health out there. And again, the more events we have like that, it can't be one-off. It needs to be that ongoing narrative that allows that confidence, that understanding, that embracing of the fact that we are human and we all have at times thoughts that can be unhelpful and can be detrimental. And on occasion, we may need to speak to somebody. And it was interesting, obviously there's some people from the local area who are recognising either me or the clothing that I'm wearing, watching my YouTube videos from going to my house to then getting on the Metro, which is our local train system here in Newcastle, to St James's Park. I got asked 8 times by different individual and groups of people if they could have their photograph taken with me. And it's beautiful because the subscriptions are starting to slowly climb. They've gone through the roof. We're nearly at 20,000, which is when I'll get the new email from YouTube, like a little flashy firework thing saying, hey, you've got an extra 10,000 subscribers. But we all know the best channel on YouTube for helping you think, feel and act, for being the best you, is who, Joella?
Believing Bruce.
Say it one more time, Joe.
Believing Bruce.
Who do you think the best looking Geordie bloke is on YouTube, Geordie?
Believing Bruce.
And even Logan Paul himself has been watching my videos. What have I turned you into, Logan Paul?
Believer now, and it's because I believe. I believe, dude.
That's right, brother. You are a believer in Believing Bruce. Like the new haircut? Nice. Thought I need something professional with my job, so I nipped down to Tom Baxter's on the coast road today. If anybody hasn't tried Tom Baxter, do so. Wicked guy, wicked pair of shears as well. Looking sharp. So, it's been a couple of weeks since KSI beat Logan Paul. And as with everything, there's a lot of energy afterwards and a lot of, talking about it, narratives going on, stories for one side or the other. So I thought I would give it a couple of weeks. But now I want to do a specific part on the loser, which was Logan Paul. And that's looking into the potential depression that affects people when they lose. Now, losing doesn't have to be in a fight context. It could be in a relationship context. It could be a job context, daily life context. But there's something happens within us that when we lose, it can be unhelpful, it can be negative, it can be detrimental. And the whole idea about just going through something like this is not only to point out what's going on with Logan Paul, or could go on with Logan Paul, but do you recognise it in you? Could you recognise this in you in a situation in the future that may be detrimental to your mental health or well-being? And that's what we're trying to do on Believing Bruce. It's not instruction, it's not advice, it's not guidance, it's not any type of medical information. All I'm trying to do here is offer, in very lay terms so people can understand it, what goes on with inside our heads and our hearts so we can be more in control of that, so a better version of us can show up. And obviously the context for the KSI Logan Paul fight is very, very important. 2 massive YouTube stars. One from America, one from the United Kingdom. They've already had a draw in their previous fight. But this fight, you know, Matchroom Boxing, DAZN's got in. The whole boxing world, whether they like it or not, was drawn into it, positively or negatively. You know, we were all there because it was the fight of the night. It was the main fight on the bill. Fanfare, the trombones, the fireworks, the jazz bands. It was just phenomenal. But when somebody loses on this scale, so publicly, depending on the person, and again, we must make reference to that, not everybody's the same. Everybody's uniquely individual, so we all view situations in our own unique ways. Yes, there will be commonalities, but there will also be massive differences as well. And what I wanted to do was just take a few days, which I've done now, to look at what Logan Paul has been doing as the loser. Yeah, is there anything he's doing that I think is unhelpful to him? Is there anything where he's sitting, or the narrative that he's displaying, that may be inhibiting him from being the best version of himself, taking into account the situation that he finds himself? So I looked at a few interviews that he has done, and the biggest thing I can draw from Logan Paul is that he has not accepted that he's lost. He has not accepted, people, at all, that he's lost. Now, I'm going to throw this out there, and this might be, unpopular with the UK guys and girls, is that I actually quite like Logan Paul. I think he is, or partly, a humble dude. I think he really is. I like him much better than his brother. His brother grates on me, but I could go into that for a number of reasons. That doesn't mean he's a bad guy, it just means he does things that slightly irritates me. But Logan Paul, I actually quite like him. And I like him more after the event, but after the fight I should say. However, he's in danger of becoming a spoiled brat. He's in danger of becoming the boy who cries wolf. He is in danger of actually harming, which is the most important thing for me, his own well-being and mental health by not accepting that he has lost. So he done an interview on his own channel and it was called I Lost. Now what was interesting from this, when you actually got to him in his studio by himself, he gave an interview, and though it was titled I Lost, and he did like say, okay, I lost, KSI won, and he does the wink and all this type of stuff, he's not accepting it. 95% of that interview, that just him the camera by himself, is telling you why he didn't lose. It's telling you what went wrong. It's telling you why it was stacked against him. It's telling you the conspiracy theories, the tactical mistakes, or the errors of the referee, or the errors of the everything. But you, brother Logan Paul, you are the one who lost. And I get it. I get it mustn't be easy, because what you've got in Logan Paul can be an advanced and enhanced, a magnified example of what can happen when we can all lose. It's just he happens to do it on a public scale. That's what comes with fame. That's what comes with the money that him and KSI got paid. And again, you've got to understand that all YouTubers, yeah, especially people who make money for it, they're like, I do this for a hobby. This is not my main role. This is not my bread and butter. I could put down this camera and walk away today if I needed to. I do it because I like it. But people who actually do it for their livelihood, it's a different game. It's like when a hobby becomes a job. There's different psychological parameters that are then applied to that thing that you used to enjoy. But Logan Paul has been conditioned, like not just Logan Paul, YouTubers, etc., especially at that level, to search for likes, to search for views, because then that equals popularity, but also that equals paid. That pays the bills, that keeps the cave, that will pay the mortgage. You probably don't need a mortgage, but that's the type of thing that they're looking for. The condition, for the thumbs up, for the likes, for the views. So losing that fight could potentially be the biggest L, thumbs down, Logan Paul has ever come across. Now hold your horses, because you will say, well, Bruce, what about the body in the forest? What about when he done that and his YouTube career was over? Now there's a difference here, and the difference is this. When Logan Paul was doing that stuff in the forest, he wasn't expecting the thumbs down. He wasn't expecting the loss. He done it because he thought it was interesting. And he's been on there, had a misjudgment, etc., etc. We can move on from that. But he did it because he thought it would be interesting content. He didn't have however many months build up thinking towards this pinnacle. When he uploaded that video, or when that bell rang, yeah, for the fight with KSI, they're two very different in regards to psychological parameters. So when he uploaded that video and it all went downhill from him there, it's a bit like a street fight. You're having a boxing fight, you're having a street fight. With a boxing fight, there's a date, there's an opponent. You know when the date is, you'll have anxiety, you'll have anticipation. You'll YouTube your opponent and see what they fight like and their techniques. You've got all this nervous energy building up, yeah? Whereas a street fight, you come out of a pub, somebody says, are you looking at my bird? Boom, have a fight, it's done and dusted. Yeah, but having a fight on the street is not the same as having a boxing fight. You've got none of that build-up. This is what Logan Paul had in this fight that he didn't have in that video. So what I can take from the I Lost video is that he is clinging to all hope that he will still be declared a winner. Or at worst, it's a null and void contest. And imagine if you had been kidnapped and you're just about to get your bullet through the head. And the kidnapper says, is there any last words? And you're absolutely begging the kidnapper, I'll do anything. I'll cook, I'll clean, I'll do your ironing. I'll be your slave. Just please, please, kidnapper, don't shoot me. This is what I see coming from this video. Is that Logan Paul, 95% of the video is given all of the reasons why in his head he hasn't lost. And there is the evidence. You can't argue with the evidence. Biology does not lie. He's telling you all the things that are going on inside his head, but in a way that affirms his position of that he did not lose. Let's just listen to some of the video here.
Every day, I get passed by people, I get phone calls, I get texts, tagged in some video online that says like, yo, Logan, you didn't lose that fight.
Logan, you did lose the fight. KSI's hand got raised, yours didn't. You lost the fight, brother.
That was bullshit. The ref made an erroneous call.
He did make an erroneous call, if that's how you say it in the States. The erroneous call that he made was not counting KSI's knockdown of you.
Or it was like misinterpreted by the judges.
Oh, so now it's misinterpreted by the judges. Is there anybody else you want to blame?
I thought you won the fight, you should have won the fight, whatever. Just like a slew of extremely one-sided opinions about the outcome of the fight. Being 100% honest with you, I have not heard or seen one comment.
Now, what we've got going on in here is an example called magnification. What Logan Paul is doing is only magnifying the side that actually built his case for him winning the fight, or KSI not winning the fight. Yeah, I've had people text me, I've had people ring me, I've had people stop me on the street. Yeah, but there's a whole load of stuff on the other side, brother, that says you did lose the fight. The main one being the referee raising KSI's hand. But what's really interesting is the giveaway, yeah? See if you can see here what Logan Paul does when he's saying he's never seen one comment from KSI or the UK fans that says KSI won the fight. Let's see if you can see it.
Not even from KSI's side, or like the British fans that have said the 2 points was the right call.
Did you see it? Not one comment. Not one comment from KSI or the British fans that said it was the right call. Let's just watch that again.
Not even from KSI's side, or like the British fans.
And just one more time for posterity.
Not even from KSI's side, or like the British fans.
Pinocchio. He's seen loads of stuff that backs up that were KSI's fans or KSI himself. He cannot, I'm not even a proper YouTuber. I don't even know how to work YouTube. And I am bombarded when I go on about all this stuff about how Logan Paul did lose the fight. This dude has 17 million followers. You have seen comments. You have heard comments. You have read comments that you didn't win the fight, brother. And again, just to prove the point about old Pinocchio, remember, there was no reason for him to rub his nose there. No reason at all for him to rub his nose. Really fascinating indicator of what his non-verbal communication is saying compared with the verbal. Remember we talked about that synchrony, the two of them lining up? Remember the body, the limbic system, that's automatic. It automatically comes out here, cannot be controlled. That is the authentic version of you. Your body shows you what you are doing. Yeah, the verbal stuff comes from the neocortex. That's where we can lie, that's where we can manipulate the truth. But when you see something, for example, somebody's saying yes, yeah, but they're saying yes, that is just a real, and I'm obviously exaggerating that. Do you love me? Yes. It's basically, I'm saying it, but my body is not lining up here. See if you can see here, and then, again, another example where Logan Paul says something, but you get the old Pinocchio. And remember the tipping point. It's when they're doing it 3 seconds before, 3 seconds after. And that's the maximum amount of time. So whenever they say something, you've got a 3 second before and 3 second after window to say, okay, at that particular time, and that particular time only, what were they doing? What was their body telling me? Was it lining up or not? Was it coming apart? Was it together? Let's see.
Strikes me, resonates with me to my core. And one of my biggest fears with this whole thing is being a sore loser. And that's why I'm making this video a week after the fight, is because I really had to check myself and make sure I wasn't doing this because I was afraid of losing. And historically, we've seen guys like, I've taken big L's.
You see that at the exact time Logan Paul was saying, I had to check myself just to make sure that I wasn't scared of losing.
And make sure I wasn't doing this because I was afraid of losing. And historically,
that would indicate to me that what he's just said there is exactly what's going on inside his head. He is scared of losing. His words are saying he's not, but his body's not lining up. Let's just watch that again.
And make sure I wasn't doing this because I was afraid of losing. And historically,
So, is it bad for Logan Paul to maybe not be as truthful as he could be? On the outside, no, but on the inside, yes. And I'm specifically speaking to Logan Paul now. And remember, Logan Paul is at such a pinnacle of his career. His body has been conditioned to receiving praise and plaudits, etc. Yeah, 16, 17 million subscribers, whatever it was you just showed there. All the likes, all of the attention. Remember, in part of the brain, the Mesolimbic dopamine pathway. Yeah, that pathway that is the A1 to where the dopamine come down and everything else around it sort of thrives off that dopamine. Give him a bit of space. Give the guy a bit of space, because his brain has been conditioned probably a lot differently to the average person like you or I on the street. That praise, that adulation, that ventral striatum part of the brain that, you know, has been expanded through reward and recognition and everything that the guy's achieved. Let him have this little hump. Let him have this little, you know, question over himself. Don't be too harsh on the guy. Because again, you being harsh on him, it could be you tomorrow. But because when you are not authentic, when you're not truthful with yourself, you take energy and you try to suppress that. You try to suppress that feeling. It's what I call the Hulk. It's what I call the Hulk. But by trying to suppress your true feelings, you can create a monster inside. That frustration, that anxiety, that tension, all of these debilitating conditions that can come from that perspective that you're taking, that's inflicting on your psychological, you know, your hormone regulation. Thinking, feeling, acting, thinking, feeling, acting. If Logan Paul here is really feeling what I think he's feeling, I would like to introduce you to a model called the grief cycle. And this grief cycle just gives you a beautiful understanding of where Logan Paul could be. So let's just say he's lost the fight. Yeah. First of all is denial. Yeah, denial. The avoidance, the confusion, the shock, the fear. And you heard this in his interviews. I don't feel like I lost the fight. You lost the fight, but you don't feel like you lost the fight. Factually, he should feel like he lost the fight because he lost the fight. And then we go to anger. And there has been frustration in some of the interviews. You can see it by the energy, by his body shifting. You can see the irritation. And again, the verbalization about who was at the fight, who was watching him. We mentioned Justin Bieber, etc., etc. That will all be present. And here we are. I think we're at this point here, the bargaining. When it comes to the bargaining, he is struggling. So when it comes to the bargaining, he is struggling to find meaning. He's struggling to process the situation. Now, is this his fault? Is this Shannon Briggs' fault? Sharon! Me and you one day, kidder! Is he struggling to process the situation? He's reaching out to others. He's trying to apportion blame. He's saying, well, it could be their fault, it could be their fault, I need to do this. Yeah, we've lodged a complaint with the... It's your first nobody gives a shit. It doesn't matter to anybody else as much as it matters to you. And this part of the phase is that he's telling his story. He needs to verbalize it. Just the process of making a video could be Logan Paul's way of verbalizing his own frustrations, of letting him hear what's going on inside his own head, which could be a beautiful therapeutic tool. He may need to do this to go through the process, for him to allow himself to absorb the fact, to embrace the fact that he did lose, to take a deep breath and to just move on with it. Because if not, he could move into the depression phase, and this is what the purpose of the video is. Again, Believing Bruce is here to talk about mental health and all the aspects of mental health, not in a guidance or medical information way, just in a layman's terms so that we can understand why something happens to us, but also to discuss some potential tools that would allow you to become that better version of you and more in control of that situation, so you can give yourself a different perspective, so you can change your feelings to be a more happier version of yourself. But that overwhelming feeling, that hostility, that helplessness, he can help himself right now by accepting the loss. Yes, brother, I know it hurts. I know it's embarrassing. I know you'll wake up in the middle of the night and if I've just done this or what if I've done that? And again, that's not uncommon. That is not uncommon. But it's easier said than done. And one thing that I would like to offer here, which can help Logan Paul, but which could help anybody in a situation where you're uncomfortable with or you felt like you've lost out on any type of thing, work, home, relationship, whatever it may be, is perspective. We talk about actions over here, the behaviours that we notice. Mental health first aid is like, well, if I notice Bruce doing something different, I'll approach him. If you notice me doing something different, I've already been through probably a terrible journey, by myself, for me to then display the behaviours that you're now noticing. What we need to do is come all the way back here to think. Think, feel, act. Think, feel. It starts from the moment we look at something, the data we take in, the perspective that we put on it. And the perspective that Logan Paul is putting out is frustration, is non-acceptance, irritability. All of these unhelpful things for Logan Paul. The fact is, you lost the fight, you can't change that, but what you can do is change your future moving forward. That's 100% what you can do. And one simple technique that Logan Paul or any of you could use is being more appreciative. And what I mean by that is becoming aware of the stuff around you to realise how lucky you are. Because as God's my witness, there is always someone who is worse off. So what could Logan Paul do in this situation? Well, a very easy tool to use is 10 points of appreciation. 10 points of appreciation. Get out a bit of paper, 1 to 10, and start writing the stuff down that he has achieved in his life, that he has been really proud of, that makes him smile and stand up and be joyful. The fact that he was in a position to fight, to be the opponent on such a huge bill, brilliant. How appreciative should he be about that? The fact that he got all those millions in the bank, how appreciative should he be about that? The fact that he's healthy, the fact that he's got a six-pack that I'll never have, how appreciative. There's loads of stuff that Logan Paul can be appreciative of, but the first stage is becoming aware of the things that you've already got. Not that what you haven't got, what you've already got. So 10 points. 10 points of appreciation, 1 to 10. And again, after this video, try it. It doesn't have to be 10. Just write some things down here if you're feeling a bit low, or you maybe's lost your focus, or you maybe's lost your awareness of what's going on around you. You may be feeling a little bit low. And remember Logan Paul's past traumas. The fact that he has been through a low before. That can be something that he can grab onto. That can be something that he'd be proud of, that he's actually come back from that. That he's been through the trenches, so to speak. So he's already got proof that he can do it again. He should embrace that and grab that with both hands. I've been through this before, I can do this. And that is one great thing that anybody can use. The woman or the man on the street is when you're feeling low, when you're feeling not quite right, or it's not, the will is against you. Get out a little bit of paper, get out your phone. As a minimum, 3 things what you can appreciate. 3 things what I've got right now, 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 eyes, that other people may not have. Because sometimes we're always striving for that next thing. Again, I'll go back to an old model called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And what this basically gives across is the fact that once we've got this level, we can try and achieve the next one, and then the next one. But as humans, again, this is a generic sweeping statement, is that we always want one more. If we're paid £20 an hour, we want 30. If we're paid £30 an hour, we want 40. We're always after that next thing. Well, actually, one of the most beautiful and empathic ways that you can look after yourself is to become happy with what you've got. It doesn't mean do not be ambitious. It doesn't mean do not strive for the next thing. But do not do that at the detriment of your own mental health and well-being. By actually solidifying and appreciating and raising your awareness to what you've already achieved and what you already have at your fingertips, within your body, within your current family, there's always a number of appreciative things that you can do to start filling up your joy tank to help you think, feel and act that little bit better. So Logan, brother, take out the challenge and, you know, see if you can override the judges or the referee's decision. It's not going to do you any good. The referee probably made a mistake with KSI's knocked out. He might have made a mistake. We are fallible. The judges may or may not, but KSI rolled the dice as much as you did. The benefit that you've got is a lot of people like me right now have actually still got a bit of affinity for you, compassion for you, for empathy for you. But if you go on like a spoilt child, which again is totally your choice, then you roll the dice yourself, my son. If you like what I do, please subscribe below, give me a thumbs up, contact me at Twitter and Instagram. I am going to get back to all the messages this week. That is a commitment that I've made to myself. If I can leave you one message, as well as Logan Paul, accept yourself and be kind to yourself and each other. Believe in Bruce, helping you think, feel and act a little bit better.